Hi, this is Dissb. This is footage of my Prestige 8 Warlock Mage in the Warfront Black Garden, which is today's Warfront Daily. Taking a quick look at the lineup, notice there's no healers on the Defiant side, and there is a healer on the Guardian side, but he eventually turns into a DPS cleric, so this should be an absolute bloodbath. So the first thing I'm going to do is circle around here. I always want to stay away from the middle, as the middle is very dangerous and really puts you in a situation where you are susceptible to getting AoE. And right now the goal is to just completely circle around the enemy so that they're all in one confined area, making AoEing very, very effective. So my first priority here is going to take off any target that has a blue bar. They tend to be squishier targets and should have no problem killing them without healers. Killing pets is something I really like to do, but as soon as I get an opportunity proc, I'm gonna change my target to that rogue and drop a life leech. Now, when you get an opportunity proc, you're virtually left with either casting a void bolt or a life leech. If my target is at more than 50% health, I will lead off with a life leech opposed to a void bolt. Here, I'm going to use a void bolt to finish him off. When opportunity procs, you have 3 seconds to utilize it. Don't be so eager to feel like you have to use it. If laying down a couple of more dots on the target before you start your finishing rotation is going to make the difference between killing them and not, then by all means, wait. I really feel opportunity procs and what people do with it is really what separates the good mages from the bad mages. I personally have been playing a Warlock Mage for 6 months, and I still feel there's a lot of room for improvement. I make a lot of mistakes, and I wish I had casted a different spell or perhaps waited a little bit longer. But the more you play with your Warlock, the more you'll start feeling comfortable, and you'll really start getting a feel. As you probably noticed, I like to hang out along the right side of this wall here for a couple of reasons. One, my exit points. I have immediate exit points to my right, or I can easily kite back to the opening behind me. I'm not really too concerned about the Fang Carrier because remember the information that was given to us earlier, there are no healers. So the Fang Carrier will eventually die. And even if he didn't die, I still like to attack, the first Defiant I see, which is this warrior here. Now, I'm a little unorthodox about things because I like to attack warriors. It sort of gives me some vital information that I can use later on. For example, to know whether a warrior is squishy, to know whether a warrior really hits hard or is really good at using their defensive skills, this is information that's going to prove useful later on because eventually you're going to bump into this warrior again. And how to act and what to do is determined by my first encounter with them. Do I give them the respect they deserve or not? So now I'm working on this Chloro here. I'm going to try to extend them back. You'll notice I'm getting pretty close to the opening here where I can easily break line of sight. And what I really want to do is just, let my health come down a bit. Let him think he can kill me. And once he starts committing, I move forward and start my finishing rotation. As I approach the Fang, I'm going to lay down a few Devouring Shadows, which in my opinion really needs to be nerfed. All they really need to do is add a 5-second cooldown on it, and I think it'll solve a lot of problems of people shadow casting and chain casting it. Just want to be looking at your indicators when there's not too many Defiant. I notice I have full charge here, or near full charge, so I'm going to lead off with Defile from now on. I'm going to get my 4 dots on this guy, really wait for that opportunity proc, and as soon as it procs, I'm going to move forward and launch an instant Void Bolt. As I shift my focus to this new target, I have to be aware my finishers aren't available to me, so I'm either going to have to kill him with Devouring Shadows or an instant proc Void Bolt. Here you'll see I get 2 opportunity procs back to back, and what I do is I cast Life Leech on one and I immediately switch targets and cast Life Leech on the other target. And the reason I'm doing that is because there are no healers, so I want to be a little cautious. Could I have finished them off if I had held off and casted 2 dots before starting my finishing rotation? I don't know, we'll never know, but is it really that important of a kill? Probably not. It's always better to be on the safe side of things. As much as I want to kill this mage in front of me, because we have no healers, I have to pay extra special attention to my surroundings. I notice our team is starting to die and it's virtually just me left here, so I'm going to pull back and I'm going to work on this pet here to try to proc Bloodthirsty. Lucky enough, I am able to proc it and my health is at full again. Looking at the score, it looks pretty even and they've got the Fang, but once again I'm not going to worry about the Fang because they have no healers and he will die just like he did there. Instead, what I'm going to try to do is really just focus on individuals and kill them and put them back to the graveyard. Because once they're in the graveyard, they all come single file line. And that's really what I'm trying to create here, is to just reduce the numbers. You don't want to have fights where it's 10 on 10. I mean, I don't mind if it's 10 on 10, but if you really want to make a difference in a scenario, what you have to do is put everyone on different spawn timers so that the numbers are always in your advantage. So I've got this caster here that I'm toying with. Just want to stay at max range, see if he'll extend. Starts getting pressure, so he starts backing up, and I'm going to switch my target to this guy. And as soon as I start seeing him run, I know he's going to run to his teammates, so I'm going to hold off on my Radiate Death until he gets in a position now, and I'll drop it. And you can see it start hitting everyone, and I'm going to follow it up with Devouring Shadows. I'd like to go over my thought process on that last Radiate Death. I think a lot of mages would have played that differently, and that's clearly what separates me from a lot of other mages. First thing I did was I analyzed what was going on. I knew he was in trouble, and I knew he had to back up, so I anticipated that he was going to back up, and I was patient enough to wait until the most ideal position to drop that Radiate Death. And if you looked, I hit virtually everyone that was around him. And that's really how you put up the high numbers. I always get asked in game, how the hell do you put up such high numbers anyways? Do they just run single file line at you? The answer is no. It's just thinking outside the box and being one step ahead of everyone else is going to really improve your gameplay. And those are the type of things that I'm trying to show everyone, especially Warlocks. For those of you that do not play a Warlock, or perhaps do not possess the same mobility as one, you can drastically improve your game just through positioning. Allowing yourself to be in a situation, just constantly surveying what's going on at a safe distance. These sort of things will really help improve your gameplay and your decision making. Don't forget what I discussed earlier, because those are really key things. Analyze what's going on, anticipate what's going to happen, and react or adapt to what is happening. Looking at the score, it's pretty close. I think we end up picking up the Fang and eventually winning. At this time, I'd just like to thank everyone who has supported me through feedback or comments. To share my insight of 20 years of gaming and providing the best possible content available on the web could not have been done without you guys, and I thank you once again. Please keep it coming. Once again, this is Dissb. Thank you for watching. Simply hitting the like button on YouTube goes a long way.